Hi, my name is Roel Garcia and I work with the Holland Sentinel, and today we're going to be cooking some homemade flour tortillas. For this recipe we'll be using 3 heaping cups of flour, half a teaspoon of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of salt, mix those all together, half a cup of Crisco, mix that into the ingredients, and then a cup of boiling water. And you mix all that together and make a nice big ball of dough. We start first by putting in 3 heaping cups of flour. Okay? And then we add a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. And don't go over this because the tortillas will come out a little bit different. It has to be exactly a 1/4. And then 2 teaspoons of salt. That takes care of all the dry ingredients. You mix it up with your hand. Okay. We've got half a cup of Crisco shortening, which is probably one of the best stuff you can use with this. Put it in there. Okay. And then, once you get it all in there, with your hand, you work the shortening into the flour with your hand until the flour mixture and the shortening mix together. Okay? And once you knead all of the flour mixture with the Crisco, this is the consistency that you want it to look like. This. And then it's time to add the water to start making the dough. You add a little bit at a time. You don't want to add too much of it. For one thing, because it's really hot, and then for another thing, because you've got to start working with the dough a little bit at a time here. And you continue to knead the dough, and and this is what the concoction ends up looking like at the end here. You pretty much know when this is done, when the dough feels really nice and smooth, and it kind of, I guess, squishes between your fingers, and that's when you know it's done. And there isn't any part of it that's hard anymore. It's nice and soft, and that's when you know you've got some good dough here. Once the dough is made and you're happy with it, you let it sit. You cover it either with the top of a container or with a cloth in the kitchen. You cover it up. You let it sit for 10-15 minutes. Let the dough kind of get its consistency. Let it harden a little bit, and then you start working with it to get these small little tostales, little pieces of the dough that I'm going to knead and roll out to make the tortilla. Okay? And the tostales, you get a little piece like this. You start kneading it with your fingers. Get the rolling pin here, and then you roll them out. You try to get a circle as much as you possibly can, and that's why you want the surface to be smooth, not wet. Once you've rolled out the tortilla, it's time to put it on the comal or the griddle, and you preheat this before so that it's nice and hot. If you want to make the tortillas right away, or if not, you can leave them as they are right now and eat them later. So it's nice and hot, nice little griddle. Or if you don't have this device, you can always use a non-stick pan. You can hear it sizzling. It means it's hot. The cast iron is hot. You're going to start seeing the tortilla get a little hard on the edges here, start getting a little brown, and it'll start bubbling. And you can start, when you start smelling it cooking, begin to flip it over. As you can see there, it's got the little spots there that means the dough is cooking. And here's the finished product, our little tortilla, which is smelling really good and tastes delicious. Now with this particular one, you could heat up, some fajitas in the grill, and you can just fold it up Put the fajitas in there, put some cilantro, some onions, some peppers, and you got yourself a nice little taquito. You could make some bacon and eggs for breakfast. Roll some of these out, make a little breakfast taco out of them. You can make a thinner version of this, and you can make it as a little burrito. You can put stuff in there and fold it up and make a little burrito out of it. Or you can simply put some butter on this and just slurp it up. It's delicious. Good.